They say fights improve the quality of a relationship. But if your fights with your partner has been ugly and messy, and even after years of fighting, it doesn't look like you guys understand each other at all, I have 6 tips for you that's going to help you improve the quality of your fighting, in turn, improve the quality of your relationship. But first, let me reassure you that all couples fight. It's not whether or not you fight, it's about how you fight. It's about the approach you take that helps you in building better understanding. And all these 6 pointers, they don't just apply for romantic relationships. It basically applies for all interpersonal relationships. So before we start, if you would like to work with me one-on-one, or if you would like to join my monthly group coaching sessions, click the link in description. Number 1, during a fight, do not attack their personality or their character. We often unconsciously do this, where we just throw around words like, you are stupid, you are crazy, you are a mess, you are this, you are that. And in case no one told you this before, let me tell you, it hurts, especially when it comes from a loved one. If you are upset with your partner about something, keep your conversation just about that situation, just about what happened. Do not attack their personality. Do not say things like, you act like a crazy person. I mean, I'm just not getting words on top of my head, but I guess there are like worse things that people say during a fight, right? You are insecure. You think that this person is better than you and you are not better than them, so you are doing this, like whatever. Like I guess there are like worse ways of attacking someone personally. So don't do that during a fight. Keep it according to the conversation, because if you say something like, you're stupid, you always do this, you are the dumbest person I know. Now the other person is like, do you think I'm dumb? Do you think I'm stupid? Is that what you think about me? Now the fight is no longer about what's happening, but it's about something else. And if your fights, often tend to drag the fight for such a long time and it doesn't look like it gets resolved at all, you often end up fighting about the same thing over and over again. Maybe it's because you're not really fighting about the situation, but it's about something else. So the moment you attack someone's character or their personality like this, it really creates a crack in the relationship. Because the moment the person realizes that, is that what you think about me? Like, you think I'm stupid, you think I'm dumb, then why do you even with me if you think I'm dumb and you're so irritated about dumb people? I think there was this movie called Irugapatru. So there's this one couple where he keeps calling her dumb, dumb, dumb. So that's the classic example. Like, if you are so mad with dumb people, and if I am dumb, then why are you even with me? So that is the extreme in which this can go to. The person will start questioning themselves, like, do you really love me? Like, do you even have love and affection for me? That's the extreme it would go. But the problem is not that at all. The problem is something else. Like, it's just about a small thing that your partner said or did. So never attack your loved ones personally. Never make them question their character. You have to be really conscious with the words that you use during a fight. Never say things that would attack their character. It really creates a crack, and that crack can really build to this extreme, and it can break the relationship. So ensure that you are calm before you speak, and even if you're angry, ensure that you do not say something that you would regret later. Number 2, if you notice something about your partner that bothers you, that you're not comfortable with, the way they treat you, the way they talk about you with someone else, the way they talk to you in front of your friends or family, the way, they support someone else instead of taking your side, whatever it is, the first time you notice it, bring it up with them. If something bothers you, bring it up the very first time. It doesn't matter how long your relationship has been. If you put up with it and you're like, okay, I've just started dating, so I'll just keep my mouth shut, I will not say anything, I'll put up with it, and you put up with it for a year or 2 or 100 times, guess what happens? Resentment builds. And one day the same thing happens and you will burst. But for your partner, it's a very new thing, because they never knew that this would bother you. And suddenly they're like, why are you acting so strongly? What happened? And you say that you never really liked this. their first question or their first response would be, oh, but this happened so many times before and you never said anything. And it's really hard for you to take that conversation forward, especially because you have this resentment built inside you. Your partner is, just because you're bringing this up for the first time now, they are approaching it in a very maybe calm way, let's say. But because you have this resentment inside you, you are approaching it with such intensity. So you're coming with so much and they just have so much. They're not prepared at all. Resentment really kind of rots your relationship from the inside. This is especially for people pleasers, people who were taught to adjust, to compromise. That one person who always takes pride in adjusting. Okay, I'll adjust. I'll not say anything. I'll keep my mouth shut. This is for you. If something bothers you, bring it up the first time. No one is asking you to put up with it. Okay? It's your choice. If you're putting up with something, it's your choice. And tomorrow if someone asks you, why did you put up with it? Like, seriously, it's your choice that you're making. So just ensure that you don't do it. Like, you would regret it later. When you build resentment inside you, it's going to really rot your relationship. Number 3, if your partner reacts really strongly to something that you think is not that big of a deal, right? It could be just a simple remark that you made, but your partner is reacting in such an intense way that you think like, wow, it's not that big of a deal. Like, why are you reacting so much? Usually that's what you say when you see your partner reacting like that to a very simple thing. That's what you say. But instead of doing that, instead of saying, oh, it's no big deal, why are you reacting like this, right? Instead of doing that, or instead of assuming that they are sensitive, that's what people do. They assume that they're being sensitive, they're being unreasonable, they're creating a drama. This is what people usually say. Instead of assuming that they're sensitive or unreasonable, assume that it's a cry for help. By default, assume it's a cry for help. Now, sometimes if they're reacting strongly for something, it probably comes from a deeper place. Okay, and you throwing words at them, calling them sensitive is not going to help. And it's not just sensitive. People don't just, always react in a dramatic way, in a sad, in a really like crying way for something. Sometimes people also get really angry. People get really like this temper as well. So it could be any emotion. It could be anger, it could be sadness, it could be like a drama or whatever. When you see it in your partner for something that's a very simple thing. It could be about how their mom commented on their career. It could be about how their dad commented about their looks, whatever. But suddenly they're so upset about it. Instead of, like I said, assuming that they're being dramatic or sensitive, assume it's a cry for help and become curious. Ask them, why does it bother you so much? Tell me. Let me try and understand. Tell me why it bothers you so much. During times like this, you need to get into an understanding mode. You have to be curious. You have to talk to them. This is not a time for you to say, stop behaving like this. You're just creating a scene. You're creating a drama. No, that's not going to help you understand each other. That's not going to help you improve the quality of your relationships. It's time for you to become curious and ask them questions about their behavior. Why does it bother you so much? What is it about your mom or your dad or this friend? And what is it about the remark that they made? Talk to me. That is how you create a safe space. Which brings me to point number 4, being vulnerable. So when you ask questions like this, they're going to be vulnerable. And if your partner is asking you questions like this, it's your opportunity to be vulnerable. Be vulnerable. One person to be vulnerable and the other person to accept it with empathy. And vice versa. You have to be vulnerable with each other about your thoughts, about your past, about your wounds, about what you think about yourself. If you can't really be completely open with this person by trusting them and sharing every bit of this weird thing going on inside you, you cannot build understanding. Vulnerability builds understanding, understanding builds closeness. And anytime someone is being vulnerable, it should be welcomed, it should be acknowledged with empathy, and it should not be responded with judgment. Never do that mistake. When someone is being vulnerable with you, like your partner, they start telling you about their past, about their parents, about what they think about themselves, about their insecurities. It's not time for you to make judgments about it. to make comments about it. That is not the time for you to say, but it happened so many years ago. Don't do that. That is not how you approach vulnerability. But you were a small kid. But why are you still dragging it for such a long time? Why did you not discern it better at that time? Anytime someone is opening up, sharing with you a part of their heart, do not respond with judgment, comments, remarks. No. All they want is understanding and empathy. Receive it. You don't even have to say anything. Just receive it. And when couples do this, it builds closeness. Now, I believe this is one of the hardest things for couple to do, or any other relationship as well, because being vulnerable takes a lot of strength. It's almost like I'm going to show you everything that hurts me, everything that I think about myself, all these worst thoughts that I have about myself, and I'm trusting you with it. Because when I'm being vulnerable, you have the opportunity to use it against me. So being vulnerable with someone takes a lot of trust. I can only be vulnerable with you if I fully trust you that no matter what happens, no matter how much we fight, you will not use my vulnerability against me, or you will not say things that would hurt the exact same point. And that trust is really important in a relationship. It's because the trust is not there in many relationships. People often end up not being vulnerable with each other. But if you can't be vulnerable with each other, it simply means that you have not built enough trust. And as I'm telling you this, if kind of makes you uncomfortable that I really can't tell my partner about this, I really can't be vulnerable with them because, what if they do this? What if they do that? If you have doubts, maybe you should work on your trust first. Maybe you should work on trusting each other before you become vulnerable with them. Number 5, sometimes there will be a situation that you think is not that big of a deal, but they might react to it in a certain way. Like they might think it is a big deal. It might make them feel a certain way. Like the same thing makes you feel a certain way, makes them feel a certain way. Okay? During those times, I want you to kind of remind yourself that your truth and their truth about the same thing is differing. You guys don't have the same truth about something. Let me tell you this, okay? You need an understanding of this first. The things that we see in our reality, like good, bad, right, wrong, that's not always the case, because people's perspective, how I relate with that thing, determines how I feel about it. If I see a wire, it's just a wire to me, right? But let's say there is another adult next to me and they, for whatever reason, they're afraid of wires. Maybe they got like an electric shock once because of the wires, or they have whatever experience with the wire, okay? When they look at the wire, they might panic. They might be extremely cautious around the wire. Now, factually speaking, this wire is no threat, right? That's just a fact. Yes, but that's not their truth. Fact is different from someone's truth. I want you to realize that. So, of course, yes, there's no problem with this wire. It's perfectly fine. It's not going to give you any shock. Everything is perfectly set. But it's still not making them feel fine. The way they feel about it is a bit cautious. And that is their truth. And during those times, we have to realize that people's truths are different and we should respect people's truth. You might not agree with it. I might not agree with it, of course. I still don't agree that this is a dangerous thing, right? Because I always work here, so it's no big deal. But for them, it's a big deal. Then I have to respect it. I don't have to agree with it, but I have to respect it. So I want you to realize that this is going to happen with your partner many times. Your truth about something and their truth about something is going to differ. Now, during those times, when your truths differ, it's more important to be kind than honest. Let me repeat. When your truths differ about a situation, it's more important to be kind than honest. Let me give you an example. I had one couple that I was coaching wherein the wife would often say, like when they're driving, the husband would drive a bit faster. And the wife would say, don't drive so fast. I'm afraid. I'm scared. Drive slowly. I guess it happens with many people as well. I've heard a few other people say this as well. So they say, wife says that don't drive fast, drive slow. Now, of course, during that time, what might go on in your head is that nothing is going to happen. That's a fact. Through my experience, through my driving, through all these trips that I've taken, all these traffics that I've navigated, and with my 10 years of driving experience, I know that nothing is going to happen. So just be quiet. That is you being honest, right? Because of course, honestly, factually looking at it, maybe you really are driving safe and nothing is going to happen. But your truth about driving and their truth about driving, or the way you feel about driving and the way they feel about driving, is different. So during times like this, it's more important to be kind than honest. If you're being honest, you'll say all these things that I just said. But if you're being kind, this is what probably you would say. Don't worry about it. You're not going to stop driving the way you're driving. It's just about the way you approach that situation. Don't worry about it. I will take you safe to the place. I always drive like this. You don't have to worry. You can trust me. You will slowly get used to it. And one day, maybe you can learn driving too. You will understand that there's no danger in it. That's being kind. And let me tell you this. Kindness is not something that you do when you feel comfortable. It is something that you do because the other person is in the need, and even if it makes you feel slightly uncomfortable, you do it because you love the other person. You care for the other person. That is kindness. So when I'm asking you to be kind with your partner and you're like, I'm not comfortable being kind right now. Like, if you think that I can only be kind with them when I'm comfortable, that's not kindness. That is still self-centered. Kindness comes from a place of deeper love and care for the other person, that even if it's uncomfortable to you to do that, you still do it. What I just said, like pacifying your partner during a drive, let's say, it might feel really uncomfortable for some men to do that, like to talk like that. Maybe you're never used to talking like that in such a gentle way, and it makes you feel uncomfortable. Yes, that's the point. That's what you do when you're being kind over being honest. Number 6, do not do something to your partner that you do not wish to be done to you. Do not treat them in a way that you do not wish to be treated. Very simple. I had this one couple where anytime there is a fight, they have a fight, the wife would stop speaking to the husband for 2 days, 3 days, and sometimes 7 days straight. Okay, the silent treatment. She stops speaking, but he, of course, speaks to her, but her response is not like very kind. You know, she doesn't really respond. You know how it is in silent treatment. Like, they're like, that's pretty much how much they talk, right? So when we were talking, I just asked her one question. If the same fight happens again, and instead of you, your husband chooses to give you the silent treatment, he does not talk to you for 5 days, would you be okay with that? And she said no. And I said, if you are not okay with him doing that, how can you do the same thing to him and expect him to be okay with it? Because it did bother the husband that she was giving some silent treatment. He wanted to speak and get things done and then move on. So it's not just about this scenario, and generally speaking, that it happens with, like, men do stuff to women too, and they wouldn't be okay when they do the same thing to them. So just keep it in mind that this is high level hypocrisy, and it's also kind of slightly borderline narcissism. If you do not wish to be treated a certain way, don't do the same thing to them. If you don't like it when someone uses curse words on you, you don't use curse words on them either. That's how you hold a value. That's how you hold a principle. So with that, I'm at the end of the video. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you in another video. Take care.